All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, the wonders of the apostles and elders, a great millstone who teach and rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this gospel amongst the four winds with truth and sincerity. All right, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Parathon with a quick lesson. All right, just going into putting off that old man. Let me see. I'm gonna open up with because you see in this whole process of as I've said in the previous lesson, previous few lessons, as we examine ourselves, in this faith and trying to remain in the faith and remain in the spirit, because it's gonna, too much of this makes us weary, and a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. But while we're in the spirit, even when we are weak in the spirit, we still have to make spiritual decisions. While the flesh is when it feels like the flesh is kind of, he getting at you. We still have to be conscious of our decisions, man. Regarding our desires, right? I read something earlier. It said, desires make a king a slave, and patience make a slave a king. Right? So we can't be a slave to our desires and our lusts, man. Right? Sirach 18:30. Go not after Salakia. Let me hit this Ecclesiastes 1:7-1. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Right? And in the GNT, it says, sensible people will see trouble coming and avoid it, but an unthinking person will walk right into it and regret it later. Right? A lack of examination and preparation and awareness of your surroundings. Right? So a prudent man is going to, a man with common sense is going to foresee if the evil. He's going to go with his gut feeling, or as we used to say in the world, he's going to go with the spirit. And he's going to avoid that situation or that surrounding. He might fall back. Hey, Jacob dwelleth in tents, man. Jacob was dwelleth in it. You know what I mean? We're laid back people. So we just got to try not to do too much and get enough done at the same time, if that makes sense, right? So Sirach 18:30. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Right? Though we got to keep our lusts in check, man. We have to control our desires. It's all in the balance. And we have to keep our passions in check as well, man. It all works the same, right? It's Romans 6:6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin, right? So our old self was being in the process of being put to death as we got on this walk. Our old self concerning the old mentality and the old things we used to get into, what we can consider right and wrong, and the old principles and morals of the world and wisdoms of the world that conducted, our everyday life. All that shit slowly starts to fade away when you become more spiritual and start feeding spiritual things. Start feeding into investing into spiritual habits. Like reading, listening to lessons, breaking bread with the brothers. Just being in a good space, being around good energy. So, we crucified, it says, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, with Yahweh Shai, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. So our old man being crucified is just a smaller version of Yahweh Shai. Our sins were crucified with Yahweh Shai. Salakia. Wash your hands. Yes, sir. Salakia, Aki. So, us crucifying our old man, or we're crucifying our old mentality, our old ways, right? And it's a smaller comparison Now, of Yahweh Shai being crucified, and with him our sins, our iniquities, of our past lives, of the nation of Israel. Gotta be specific, because like Yahweh Shai did not die for the world. He died for the nation of Israel, right? So, in this spiritual crucifixion that we're in, that we're undergoing, crossing over to that other side, being and realizing that you're in the world and not of it. We should no longer be slaves to sin, man. In the long run. It's Romans 13:13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. All right, so we got to conduct ourselves properly. All right, as and put on as the elect, as the scriptures say, and not get into what everybody else is getting into. These day orgies. This being lit. Lit in public. Showing no signs of morals or decency. You know what I mean? Jake get drunk and like fighting and shit. So we have to be examples, man. Right? Romans 13:14. But ye put on the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So let's not even feed into the flesh. All right, let's put on as the Lord. All right, let's take the weapons. All right, we were given this. Our blessing is this. Our blessing is these scriptures, the understanding of them, and it's going to guide us in this valley. This valley of decision, if you will. Right, we got to ignore our sinful nature and stop entertaining that shit, man, because the end of that is destruction. Right. It's back in Sirach 18:31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. So if you allow yourself to satisfy and be satisfied and feed into all these desires and these lusts, you're gonna be looking like a fucking clown. You're gonna look weak to your enemies if you have them. Well, it's not if, but in a sense of where you're at, you're gonna look weak. It's gonna make you look vulnerable. As if we're not already, looked at in that manner. Right? Verse 32, take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied in the expense thereof. Right? It's a precept, because take not much pleasure in good cheer. You don't want to be happy all the time. There's no reason for us to be happy all the time and to be taking pleasure in things that because it's a balance. Here we are, in the land of our captivity, right? We don't want no ties here. This is not our rest. We have no continuing city here, man, but we seek one to come, as the scriptures say, right? Quick precept, Ecclesiastes 7:2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. So it's better to go to the house. It's better to be in the house of mourning than the house of feasting, right? Verse 3, sorrow was better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better, right? So in sorrow, you're made better as a man. There's wisdom in sorrow, right? Look at all the great things we accomplished under these curses, all these inventions. I'm not even going to start on the list of the so-called black inventions, Jake inventions, right? Verse 4, Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. So it's wise to be in mourning. We have every reason to mourn, and just enough to keep us cheerful, man. All right, the comforter for one, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, having the names, but the Lord, having the brotherhood, just brothers that's been there for you. And if you got a family, your wife and your children, man, and some yah. Like what more we need? All right, so I ended off with that, man. So hey, man, we gotta starve this flesh and feed the spirit. Put off that old man and examine ourselves in the process. All right. So with that little willingness, that's what's edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone to teach and rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Keep enduring. Akim Kwam Yasharala and the Baba Bar. Shalom.